Welcome to mid-January. I know we are feeling it. It's feeling good. 2026 is ahead of us. We're so motivated. We are ready to go. Ready to put our biggest dreams to the paper, to the social media, to the world. We're ready to take it on. But here's something I want us to all stop doing, something I've realized for myself and something that I hope you'll realize as well, is that we need to stop putting ourselves in a box. And I think that we do it without even realize we are doing it. I realize that I have been putting myself in a box over the past couple of years in a small way, but I think in a way that can affect my entire year. And that is putting myself in a box in the way that I set up my goals, my dreams, and my vision board. So this year I put my foot down and I was like, no, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not following what everybody else is doing, how everybody else is creating it, and how everyone else is setting up their goals and their dreams, because mine are not yours and yours are not mine. So why are we doing it the same? So I have a really special episode for today that I think is going to help you set up your entire 2026 for success. For success, for love, for money, for health, for all the things that you want to take away from 2026. Hello, hello. I am Julia Salvia, your self-love bestie, and this is the Self-Love Archives podcast. And today I am going to be giving you the theme, the vibe, your focus for every single month of 2026. And this isn't just a theme or a vibe that I'm pulling out of my ass. This is a theme and a vibe rooted in a couple of things: seasons, trends, and astrology. So I have these three things backing it up to give you what your focus is for each month of 2026. We get stuck in the mindset of really leaning into our goals in January, and then they kind of just like fade away as the year goes on. And I don't want that to happen to you this year. Instead of putting all of my time into my vision board, which is actually sitting right behind me, for the entire year, I've decided that this year I'm going to focus in on quarters of the year. So the first 3 months, the next 3 months, the 3 months after that, and then the last 3 months of 2026. And that is how I'm going to go about setting up my year, setting up myself for all the things that I could ever dream of in this upcoming year. And what works best for me is taking a little bit at a time, taking a couple of pieces. You mean to tell me that I'm supposed to know what's going on in November? I have no idea. And for some people, that works. But I know me and I know myself after all these years of life that I've lived. And I hope that for you, you also know who you are and how you work and what really gets you motivated and excited for all of the things that you want for yourself. And if you are like me, looking at the entire year honestly is really overwhelming. So breaking it down into these smaller bite-sized pieces kind of make it more exciting, kind of make it more something to look forward to. And instead of having a million things on my plate in front of me, I have just these bite-sized pieces and specific themes and focuses that I can trust and work on for each of these months of the year, each of these quarters of the year, to bring me to the end of 2026 looking back and being like, shit, we really did the thing. We did the damn thing. We did so much this year. And we felt so good this year. And we're looking back on this amazing, amazing year. I want you to be at the end of 2026 and be like, wow, this was such an amazing year. Despite all of the challenges, despite any of the hardships, despite the days that might have been difficult, you had such a good year. That's how I want you to feel at the end of 2026. So, I have a really special episode for you, and this is how it's going to go. Every single month of 2026, we are kicking off the podcast with an episode that goes in deeper into what our theme or vibe focus is for each month. So for January, we actually launched that episode as the very first episode of 2026, and that is the Vision Value Vibes method. So make sure to check out that episode so you can learn more about our theme for January. And then in 2 weeks from now, we'll go into our theme for February, falling in love with yourself again, March, then April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. But here in this episode right now, I am going to go over what each month's theme is. And some really stand out dates that I want you to pay attention to for good vibes, positive energy, and empowerment. And then I'm also going to share a little bit of astrology with you, specifically the retrogrades that are happening this year, so you know when to slow down and take a beat. And eclipse seasons, so you know exactly what to do this year. Astrology can be super, super helpful, but it also can be super, super overwhelming. So I am simplifying it down for you, and I'm going to be giving you a quick overview of what that looks like. I'm going to share with you all of the dates of Kazimis. Now, Kazimis are really empowering days. A Kazimi is one of my favorite things that happens in astrology. It's basically when a planet is in the heart of the sun. It's when the sun and a planet come together, literally. And it's a really amazing moment for positive energy, empowerment, starting something new, clarity, breakthroughs, launching projects, action, understanding, love, attraction, growth. Like just a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful day. We have a couple of Kazimis throughout 2026. So I'm going to let you know those dates, and I want you to mark them on your calendar as really, really amazing dates to launch something, do something, say something, and days that you should just really lean into your power and lean into the empowerment that you get from our universe. The next thing I'm also going to share with you are retrogrades. Now, retrogrades are a moment to slow down. The literal meaning of retrograde is when a planet is moving backwards. So we always hear about Mercury retrogrades. It's literally when the planet Mercury is just moving backwards. And this is always a time, any sort of retrograde is a time to revisit, rethink, revise. Retrogrades are the RE. Any words that start with RE, that is what you want to lean into with retrogrades. There are 3 types of planet retrogrades that I'm going to focus on in this episode. That is Mercury, Venus, and Mars. These are the closest planets to our Mother Earth, and they are the ones that have the most effect on us specifically versus the farther away planets like Jupiter, Neptune, Saturn, and so on that have more of an effect on our community. So for 2026, there are about 3 or 4 retrogrades, no Mars retrogrades, thank goodness. Whew. But what it means when there is a Mercury retrograde, we have a couple of those this year, is that communication. Mercury means communication, and when Mercury is retrograde, it means that communications are going awry. It means that we need to revise things, revisit things. It's delays, it's misunderstandings, it's travel hiccups. What we want to do during Mercury retrogrades is we want to proofread. We want to cross our T's, dot our I's, maybe not sign anything, backup devices, proofread, and re-say what we've said over again. When it comes to Venus retrogrades, Venus is the planet of love. So when Venus goes retrograde, that means relationship struggles, reviewing relationships, and potentially even questioning our self-worth. And what we want to do during these Venus retrogrades, or the singular Venus retrograde that we have in 2026, is we want to work on self-love. Heavy on the self-love during a Venus retrograde. We're also going to avoid any commitments that have to do with love or with money. Now, Mars retrograde, as I said, we don't have any Mars retrogrades this year in 2026, but there is one coming up in early 2027. And a Mars retrograde, Mars is the planet of aggression, frustration. When there is a Mars retrograde, it lasts for about 2 months. And during those 2 months, we're going to feel like we're not taking action in the ways that we may have prior to this retrograde. It's slowed momentum, it is frustration, it's blocked energy, it's overly aggressive, less motivated, and essentially having internal battles over our desires. What we want to do during a Mars retrograde, we need to slow down, we need to reassess, there's that RE again, understand the root of our actions and why we are taking action to do something, or trying to take action to do something. And it's just not the time for any bold initiatives. It's not the time to start something new. I'm going to share all of the information about all of the retrogrades that are coming up in 2026 as we go through each month. But just know that retrogrades are always, always, always a time to reflect. They're a time to slow down. They're a time to reassess. If we can do this, if we can just sit in whatever present moment we are in with ourselves, retrogrades can actually be really impactful. So whenever one comes up this year, I urge you to just slow down, to reassess, and use this as a moment to make things better. I don't like to say perfect things, but in a sense, retrogrades give us this opportunity to make something better, to perfect something. And then I'm going to share with you the eclipses. We have lunar eclipses and we have solar eclipses. Both are moments in time where the light in our sky is flickering, whether at night or during the day. And these moments are a little different from retrogrades in that they are kind of shedding of something. They are letting go of something or starting a new story in our lives. These are moments where we want to release control. These are moments where we want to heal something, work on something. This is not a moment where we want to start something new, try to manifest something else. This is just a moment of also kind of slowing down, but in a much more cathartic and deeper way. And finally, last but not least, in addition to these astrology dates that I'm going to share with you, I'm also going to share just some additional days as from Chani Nicholas and the Chani app. I'm going to share some additional days that are just highlighted as really, really awesome days for love and success. I wanted to share this with you now at the beginning of the year so you can take all of this information with you and plan your year in the best way you know how to. That's everything. Let's get into it and let me share the themes and your focus for every single month of 2026. January, January, January. Welcome. We're here. We are in January right this second, right now. Literally. Hi. Welcome to January. I know I've been saying welcome to January this entire month, but really, really welcome to January because the past couple of weeks have been actually really amazing. Really amazing. And perfect for goal setting, perfect for January, perfect for our vibe. It makes sense that January of 2026 is all about vision, value, and vibes. I talked more about our vision, value, vibes method in the very first episode of 2026, so make sure to go and check that out because it really puts things into perspective of how to set goals and visions for yourself and lean into what values or things that you need to switch and decisions that you might need to make in order to align with your greater vision. And that truly is what January is all about. It's about getting excited. This astrology for January really did align with what we all collectively usually do for January in and of itself, which is create our vision boards. We've already had some really amazing days in astrology for January, which was the 3rd, the 6th, and we have 2 more Kazemi days upcoming, which is the 21st and the 23rd. So lots of Kazemis, lots of really amazing days in January, including some additional days, which are the 19th and the 29th. So there's still 4 more days after the launch of this episode right here where you get to just revel in the very beginning of 2026. Everything just makes sense for what is on theme and what is trending and what is the season that we are in for January. So January is vision, value, and vibes. Okay, so February. February poses as one interesting month of 2026. Astrology-wise, it's definitely it's a busy month. It's potentially a difficult month. It's letting go. It's slowing down. It's a much different vibe from January, for sure. So one of the things that I think can set us up for an amazing year is taking a moment to slow down, but reminding ourselves of our worth. And that's why February is all about falling in love with yourself again. We have Valentine's Day on February 13th, Valentine's Day the 14th. It just so happens to also be my birthday in February. But we are running into just a lot of things that are happening in February. But I know that the vibe and the trends always lean towards love. And I want you to really focus on not just love, but self-love in February. I know that is not a coincidence. If you want to believe that it is, I mean, fine. But I don't believe in coincidences. This February, we're falling in love with ourselves again because we need it. We're falling in love with ourselves again because I don't want your vision from January to just disappear in February. I want you to continue that. I want you to take that with you as we continue into 2026. And something that I feel as though we can build on and can be such a strong foundation for us is our self-love. If we choose and make decisions that continually choose ourselves, choose our values, choose our highest self and our vision for ourselves, we can get through absolutely anything. There are no Kazimis in February, but there are some really great astrology days, and those days are the 10th, the 17th, and most especially the 22nd. Towards the end of February, we go into our very first Mercury retrograde of 2026. So remember, Mercury is all about communication. So this might not be the best time to travel or the best time to sign contracts. This is a moment of slowing down, and it's our first moment of slowing down in 2026. The retrograde, the Mercury retrograde in Pisces, goes from February 25th up until March 20th. Now, before we get to the very end of February, we also go into our first eclipse season of 2026 as well. So the end of February is busy. On February 17th, there is a solar eclipse, and on March 3rd, right after February, we go into a lunar eclipse in Virgo. And that's going to lead us into March. And March is going to begin with a lot about perfection. So our theme and our vibe for March is about letting go of perfection and leaning into imperfection. There is something so strong in the trend space about leaning into imperfection, even more so than we already have. I think that in the social media world, we're going to see a lot of people start to let go of all of this heavy editing and editing in video, editing in photo content. I think we are going to go into March with this newfound look at the content that we're consuming or the lack thereof, and how to actually show up in the places and in the spaces that we want to. So March is truly all about leaning into imperfection, and this is something as a Virgo rising I am 100% partaking in. If not then, but definitely now and for the entirety of 2026, because when we try to be perfect all the time, we will constantly fail over and over and over again, because nothing will ever be good enough, and we'll never feel as though we are deserving of all the things that come before perfection, that we'll think that we're not even deserving of the journey to get there, when imperfection is one of the most vulnerable, most creative, and relatable and best parts of everything. It's the best part of the entire journey. So I am urging you in March to lean into imperfection and completely let perfection go. If there's anything that eclipse season is telling us when it comes to astrology, it's to please, please, please let go of perfection. Let it go. Toodaloo. Bye. When it comes to dates, March is definitely a little busy, but we have a lot of really great dates in March. That is 2 Kazemi dates. Oh, just kidding. 3 Kazemi dates. We have the 7th, the 22nd, and the 25th. And as for additional really great dates, we have the 5th, the 18th, the 21st, and the 30th. And of course, as I mentioned, Mercury retrograde in Pisces does end on March 20th, and the eclipse The last eclipse of the first eclipse season of 2026 is on March 3rd. So a couple days past March 3rd, we'll start to lighten up a little bit. We'll still be kind of, a little slowed down because of that Mercury retrograde, but things will lighten up as we get to the end of March. So if it didn't make sense, because in my brain, spring starts in April. March is this weird month where in central Jersey, I think me and everyone else, correct me if I'm wrong, are just looking at the sky saying, hey, Mother Nature, so when is spring coming? Because this is still freezing outside. So April for me is the official springtime. And that is what I always kind of lean into. And I think what we all kind of lean into, what is it? April showers bring May flowers. But you start to see a little bit of the budding and the leaves coming alive again in April. So it's perfect to say that April is all about clarity and healing. I think too, the trends that are leaning more towards that season of spring and that April are so wildflower-like and whimsical and very fairy-like, but just you wait till we get to May. Just you wait. But it's feeling like we're leaning into nature a lot more, and I'm talking trees and nature. Just think green. A lot of green. A lot of green. If there's a color that's going to be trending for April, it is going to be green, and all sorts of green. Every color green imaginable for April. No retrogrades in April, no eclipse season in April, but there are some really amazing dates in April that I want you to mark down on your calendar. There is one Kazemi in April, and that is April 16th. Funny enough, isn't that the day of or the day after tax day in the United States? At least we know it's going to be a good day, right? Maybe. And then some other additional lucky days for April are the 5th, the 9th, the 13th, and the 26th. So remember I said something about May? Our theme for May is funny. Our theme for May is what I feel as a Libra moon on most occasions, which is aggressively whimsical. I was looking at everything that has to do with May, and there is just, May is all over the place. May is aggressively whimsical. I'm sure that I'll come up with a better term and a better terminology for what exactly that means as we get closer to May and what the very start of May is and what we're going to be focusing on. May just feels like the month where we are running through a field of flowers, of wildflowers, and screaming at the top of our lungs. We are getting it all out there. We are aggressive in the whimsical. We are running around in joy, getting out all of our aggression from that little blip in the beginning of our year, aka March, end of February, March, April. There are two Kazemis in May, the 14th and the 22nd. And some additional dates to keep an eye on that are going to be really great positive energy type days are the 10th, the 16th, and the 17th. So I don't know what you're doing on May 16th and 17th, but maybe little trip or something. Plan something, do something, hang out with the girls, go somewhere. Those 2 days are going to be great days. June, my girl. It is the kickoff to summer. Although I know summer officially, the summer solstice, I think it's called the summer solstice, right? Starts in May. I really feel like we get into it in June. If there's anything that I can say about the equinoxes and solstices, the week-ish, 10-ish days prior to the next month, that timing is the perfect timing to focus on what you want the next quarter of your year to be. So, for example, during the winter solstice, December 21st, all the way up until December 31st, before we really were in winter, during those 10 days from December 21st to December 31st, before we got into the new year, that was such a perfect time to plan and figure out what my next 3 months are going to look like, what this timing is going to look like for me, for my brand, for my business, mostly for myself, because they all are intertwined with each other. So I urge you to try this year, to use the solstices and the equinoxes to actually plan what is coming up for the next 3 months. It's such an amazing time to do that. And I also think there's this beauty in doing that too, because you're not in the thick of it. Like, I feel like the minute we get into June, we are in the thick of summer. Like, it's summer. June 1st, it's summer already. It's past Memorial Day weekend. We've all gone on our like first trip of our summer vacation kickoff, and we're officially in summer. So taking the days leading up till June at the end of May to plan for your next 3 months and what that's going to look like, I think is such a valuable time to do exactly that. There are no Kazimis in June. And we do end June, specifically June 29th, with a Mercury retrograde in Cancer. But June is all about impressing your inner child. And there's something so fun about this. Kicking off summer, impressing your inner child. This is the time where you are doing the creative projects that you just haven't gotten to yet. This is the time to go outside, go to the beach, pick up all the seashells that you see, maybe try a new project. Like, you've been wanting to put this puzzle together. You've been wanting to try knitting. You've been wanting to join book club. Do it. Like, this is the month to do it. Impress your inner child. What did you not receive or get to do as a child that you are being pushed to do this month during this time? What is it? Do it. Do it, do it, do it. Impress your inner child and maybe write a little letter to her this month. I think this could be so fun. Just lean into being a kid in June. It can be so freeing, so fun, so creative. Please, please, please do this in June. You will not regret it. It'll be the perfect start to your summer. So while there are no Kazimis specifically in June, there are 2 dates that I want you to keep an eye on for some empowerment and some energy. Maybe do these creative projects, this impressing of your inner child, sometimes hard to impress, on these 2 days, the 9th and the 16th of June. So we do have a Mercury retrograde in Cancer that starts on June 29th and goes until July 23rd. So July is interesting because July, to me, while there is a Mercury retrograde in Cancer, seemed like this very lovely and positive month. Like, it just seemed like a really great month in the middle of summer. July always seems to be that timing in the middle of the summer where we are like, we're off. Work is just slow. Things are slow because of it just being the middle of summer and everyone wanting to just enjoy their time, enjoy their life, go on vacation, do very minimal things, and almost enjoy not necessarily going somewhere, but enjoying the place that you're at. So it's like staycation type of vacation. So in July, we have a Mercury retrograde in Cancer for most of the month. It ends on July 23rd. So all of July, we're basically in this Mercury retrograde. And as I said, Mercury retrogrades are a time to slow down. And I think July is the perfect month to do that and to lean into that, since even when there isn't a Mercury retrograde, we're kind of doing that anyway. So this is such a good time to just be home, to just do things that you find joy in doing within the area that you live in. To get creative, take that impressing of your inner child from June and maybe continue those projects that you're working on from June into July, and keep the pace slow. Revisit the things that you need to, reassess where you need to, but most importantly, do things that fill your cup in July. That is feeling like the vibe for July. That is why we are calling it community, connection, and softness. Ooh. So please take this as you will, and let me give you a couple of dates to pay attention to for empowerment and for maybe some time to create and connect with this community and add a little softness to your life in July. We have two Kazemi dates in July. That includes the 12th and the 29th. And then two additional dates to keep an eye out for are July 14th and July 22nd. So we are done with the second Mercury retrograde of 2026, and we are going into the very last month of the summer. There are a handful of really great dates in August to pay attention to. Only one Kazemi on the 27th, but a lot of really great dates to pay attention to, including the 6th, the 15th, the 17th, the 25th, and the 31st. In August, we have two more eclipses, and our last eclipses of 2026. So we're getting a little bit of a break-ish towards the end of the year, at least when it comes to eclipses. Remember, eclipses are about shedding, releasing things, and that's really what our August eclipses are going to be. The very first eclipse to kick off eclipse season is going to be on August 12th, a solar eclipse in Leo. We are releasing our ego, we are getting rid of pridefulness, we are leaning into kind of the same theme that we've seen throughout the year, which is letting go of control and letting go of perfection. In this case, we're releasing the desire for external validation. We're releasing the desire to feel the need to impress other people. The last eclipse in 2026 and the last eclipse in August is on August 27th. It is a lunar eclipse in Pisces. There's going to be a lot of imagination and fantasy and escapism in this eclipse. Don't get too lost. I know that the school year or September is kind of around the corner. We want to be flexible and release control in August, right? And sometimes Pisces can ask us to do too much of that, to the point where we are completely reverting in a completely different direction and ridding of all of our boundaries and ridding of all of our values and fantasizing about things that might not actually be in front of us. Don't go too far into it. Release control, be flexible, but know your boundaries, know your values, and know when to stop. It's like sleeping. Know when you are oversleeping because you just don't want to take on the day, and when you are undersleeping because you are stressed about all the things that you have to do. It's all about the balance somewhere in the middle. So keep in mind that at the end, throughout August, release control, be flexible, but know when to set your boundary, know when to push your values, and know when to stop, when to find balance. August is going to be about being flexible, releasing control. When we release control, we allow the ability for us to be flexible. We allow change to happen without holding on to something so tight, without being adverse to these changes that are going to happen one way or another. And that's our theme and our vibe for August. Release control, let things happen, let things flow, be flexible. Be flexible. Even if you had something in mind or something in the calendar, be flexible to it potentially changing. And you never know. I think we're so in our heads sometimes about how something, what if this happens and what if that happens? What if? It could be a million times better. What if? It could go in such an amazing direction if it changes. If you are flexible, you release control, which means you also kind of release stress. You're not holding on to this thing so tightly that you allow the universe to do what it does best and let things go that no longer serve you anymore. So in August of 2026, be flexible, release control, and let things flow. Let things flow the way they are going to. Oh, September. I think this I think going from August to September, definitely going to be a shift, definitely going to be interesting because September, I think, is going to be a little bit of a doozy. A little bit of a doozy. The end of the year in 2026 is interesting. It's a bit of I want to say a roller coaster, but honestly, it's a bit of like a this or a that. And September is one of those months. We don't have any Kazimis. We really only have one day that is a really lovely day in September, and that is September 17th. But we worked throughout the summer to be flexible, to release control, to have fun, to connect with our communities, to be soft, to impress our inner child. But September is all about healing your inner child. September is going to be that month where we're leaving the summer behind. We are going into the next school year, the next time for us to get deep with ourselves. And it's truly the perfect timing for this as well because we are starting to go back into that season of our light starting to diminish because we're going into fall and then we're going into winter. So this is the time to slow down in a different way. It's time to heal your inner child. Take lots of breaks, maybe journal throughout September. Take a moment to connect with yourself, to check in with yourself in September. This is a moment to talk to your inner child and ask her what she needed, what she didn't receive, and what she needs now as validation that you, as the person and as the woman and the adult that you are now, can remind your inner child that she was always worthy of love. When we can learn more about our inner child and start to heal our inner child and connect with her a lot more, we have the opportunity to know where to protect our peace. And that is our theme for October because October is October. October is a lot. If we thought February was a lot, October is also a lot. October is all about protecting your peace. We've learned a lot more about our inner child in September. We have focused on getting to know her, validating her, reminding her that we are here now in the present, and everything that she is fearful of, everything that she didn't receive, all of the parts of her that didn't feel worthy of love, we are here now to change and rewrite that story. But now we are taking everything that we know about the deepest parts of ourselves and we are protecting our peace. We are not letting anyone come into our life or anything come into our life that is going to disrupt our peace because peace is at the top of our list for October. And I think October, we are starting to get into, we're really getting into fall season. I think fall season really does kick off in September and we're all getting super excited about pumpkins and Halloween and getting cozy and that little bit of like that hibernation sort of vibe as we get into October. And I think there's something to say about protecting our peace in October because when we go into Halloween season, there's that, there's that like little spooky vibe to it. There's that little bit of spookiness that comes in, and it can be kind of spooky when someone tries to disrupt your peace. There are a few dates to keep in mind for October. That includes a Kazemi on October 23rd, as well as some additional dates that are good dates, the 15th and the 25th. Now, October, we get 2 retrogrades. And the last time I personally have experienced these retrogrades back to back was interesting, to say the least. Granted, they are in different signs, but we have a Venus retrograde in Scorpio and Libra and a Mercury retrograde in Scorpio in October. The Venus retrograde kicks off on October 3rd, and the Mercury retrograde kicks off on October 24th. They both come to an end on November 13th. So expect October to be the month where you really question your relationships, the relationship that you have with yourself potentially, the relationship that you have with friends, business partners, significant others. This is the time to reassess. Are these filling your cup? Are these adding to your life or are they taking away? What are these doing for you? And how are they fitting into your vision, your values, your vibe for 2026? Mercury retrograde, sort of the same thing, except it comes into communication. It's going to be a tough month to have deep conversations. It's going to be a tough month in general to have conversations in general. This is that time where you hear a lot of people talk, well, your ex is going to come back into your life. Someone's going to text you that you weren't expecting. This is that time when that is potentially going to happen, whether it's for you, someone else. Mercury and Venus retrograde together is just kind of a bit of a doozy, and it's really a moment in time for you to take a step back and truly, truly, truly slow down, but most especially do the the reassess, the reevaluate, the revisit, the re of absolutely everything. If you need to have an important conversation or do something really significant in the month of October, there are 3 dates that I want you to keep an eye on that are going to help you do just that. These are like the dates where the first thing that comes to mind is if you really need to have a serious conversation with someone that you have a relationship with in the month of October, these are the days that I would do it, most especially on October 23rd for sure, and then additional dates are the 15th and the 25th. So October's a lot, but we go into November and there is one day in the beginning of November that is such a good freaking day, and that is November 4th. Star that on your calendar, put a million emojis next to it, but keep November 4th in mind. Mercury retrograde and Venus retrograde both end on November 13th, which is a release, a relief. And that is why we are calling the theme and the vibe of November release and let go. I think we're always in that vibe anyway when it comes to November, so it was a perfect fit. I really feel like the astrology for the most part for this year kind of just aligned with what our seasons usually bring to us for the month, for each of the months and for each of the seasons of the year. So we're releasing and we are letting go of not just those retrogrades, but maybe a couple of other things for the month of November. Some additional dates to keep in mind that are going to be some good and some empowering days. That is going to be November 15th and November 28th. And then we get to December. And December is just December. December is the way that December just hasn't been over the past couple of years. December is a moment to pause, reflect, and refresh. December is the month where you truly get to slow down in 2026. If there is any month of 2026 where it is time to pause, reflect, look over how your 2026 went, it is December. So we are calling December pause, reflect, and refresh to get ready for a brand new spanking year, which is so weird to say this early in 2026, but that is the vibe of December. There is no Casimis in December, but there are 2 dates to keep in mind. One is the 18th, and the other is actually the 31st. So make some New Year's plans. I think it's going to be a really, really fun New Year's for 2026 into 2027. And that's it. That's everything. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for being here with me and going through all of the themes, all of our vibes and focuses for 2026. And as I said, we're going to go in deeper into all of these themes for each of the months at the beginning of every single month. So the first Sunday of every single month, we'll come out with a new episode and we'll talk more about falling in love with yourself, pausing and reflecting, slowing down, connecting, community, healing our inner child, impressing our inner child. We'll go into that and I will set you up for every single month of 2026. I'm so excited to do this with you. And I will say this right now, this is probably the longest-ish episode that you will get for 2026. We have really made it a point, my very small team and I, me and Jenna, we have made it a point to keep the episodes short, around 10-15 minutes long each. I want to say max 20, but I wouldn't even go as far to say that because I want these episodes to be something that you can tune into, listen to, and do that on while you're walking on the treadmill at the gym, on your way to work, or when you're getting ready in the morning. I want this to be a moment where you don't feel obligated to listen to so much talking. This one, so much amazing information and something I want you to have everything for the year of 2026. So to each his own. This one was a little bit long, but I'm so excited to take you into all the episodes for 2026. Shorter, quicker, to the point, but still with tons and tons of value and education and small little moments in your day, as we share a new episode with you every single Sunday. I'm so excited to be with you every single Sunday throughout 2026. So I hope this was helpful. Please give me all of the feedback in the world if you like this, if you don't like this, or if you have any recommendations or any questions about any of the upcoming astrology, upcoming trends, or things that I have predicted and talked about for 2026. I love you guys so much. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you soon.